Welcome everyone to today's webinar. We're going to be discussing modernizing PDF workflows in construction. Today, our webinar is hosted by Topcon Solution Store, and my name is Jordan Bullock. I am one of your co-hosts today. Along with me is also Joseph Whitney. As we jump into today's webinar, I do just want to go over today's agenda. So we're going to be talking about managing PDF workflows in the Autodesk Construction Cloud. The Autodesk Construction Cloud, if you're not familiar, is a really cool cloud platform that Autodesk has put out. And there's a lot of ways that you can actually manage, manipulate, and edit PDFs within that platform. So as we jump in there, we're going to be talking about navigating and viewing files in the Autodesk Construction Cloud, PDF editing and capabilities, elevating your QA/QC process, and then we're also going to be talking about best practices, and we're going to do a little bit of a live demonstration as well. So as we jump in here today, again, my name is Jordan Bullock. I'm a technical specialist and implementation consultant here at Topcon Solution Store. I'm also an Autodesk and Bluebeam certified instructor. I take care of training from everything from the AACC to Revit, Bluebeam. I see a lot of attendees here in chat. Some of you I've likely trained before with Topcon as well. With me here today is my co-host Joseph. Joe, if you want to go ahead and give an introduction to everyone.
Yeah, hi, I'm Joe Whitney, the sales manager for the eastern half of the United States for Topcon Solutions, primarily focusing on the software side of things, but I've been in all facets of things here at Topcon, services and support and sort of stuff. So know a lot of you guys as well, and happy to dive into some workflows to demystify, if you will, the PDF side of the construction cloud.
All right, perfect, Joe. Joe, do you want to give a little bit of a big picture of who Topcon is?
Yeah, sure. So Topcon is a global manufacturer of equipment and various technologies, everything from the agricultural, construction, and even medical side. We operate under Topcon Positioning Systems US, so we're based here and our headquarters in Livermore, just outside the Bay Area. Our subsidiary of Topcon is the Topcon Solution Store, where we focus on Autodesk and Bluebeam software, Topcon products, various other products, ClearEdge, DirtLogic, and our new Aptix portfolio. We were the Autodesk Construction Solutions Partner of the Year. We continue to lead the charge in development, implementation, customization of the Construction Cloud. Thanks to people like Jordan, we have industry-leading training and technical support. And as far as our sister companies, those are listed below: Aptix, ClearEdge, DirtLogic, and quite a bit more not listed. So Topcon takes the approach of Topcon Solutions, where we take the approach of being local to our clients. We like to have a brick and mortar where our clients are. So currently, we've got about 16 locations all across the United States, where we've got local service support, repair, training offices, training facilities, what have you, for serving the local client. We've been doing Autodesk and Bluebeam. So Bluebeam, probably about 20 years, Autodesk for just over 30 years, and continued to partner with them through all these changes and growing into more territories.
I also want to jump in here on this slide. We are an Autodesk and Bluebeam Platinum partner, and we do service all of the United States. So if you don't see a Topcon Solutions store in your specific division or in the state you're attending from, we do still service the entire country. So feel free to reach out to us should you need anything, and we're more than happy to support any of your endeavors you're working with within construction. Jumping into the Autodesk Construction Cloud, I want to kind of give a high-level overview of everything that can be possible within the ACC. So the Autodesk Construction Cloud, as an overview, is simply a cloud-based platform. Now, the reason I'm saying that as an overview is because there are specific licenses and models within the ACC that you can essentially purchase and unlock certain modules within there. Now, these can be certain projects that you're bringing in and adding to your portfolio to help you be a little bit more efficient within your design platform. But in addition, at the base module here, what we're going to be talking about today is really around the PDF workflows and being able to collaborate and efficiently give you access and capabilities within the ACC for your PDF workflows, your QA/QC processes, and so on and so forth. The entire platform at its base level is ran off a licensing model called Autodesk Docs. Now, what's really cool about Autodesk Docs is you can see on the left here, we have something called an AEC collection. So that's your architectural, engineering, and construction collection. Now, a lot of these host quite a few design softwares that are commonly used within the industry. However, within the AEC collection, you also have the Autodesk Docs licensing model that gives you access to the ACC. So if anyone attending here today has not yet been on the ACC, but are interested in getting on, testing it out, practicing practicing any of the workflows we talk about today, Autodesk Docs is available to you if you already have an AEC collection. Now, in addition to this, there is the BIM Collaborate Pro, Takeoff, and Build licenses, as well as Tandem. Any of these modules that you may be using internally, any of these unlocks the Docs module as well. So if you just have Revit, but you have a BIM Collaborate Pro license, you do still have access to the Docs module. The Docs is just entry into the ACC. It's the basic data management platform within here. Autodesk's goal with the ACC is really to centralize all your project data in one place. And the ACC is a really cool platform to go through and do that because you have access to all of your design softwares, which the ACC actually incorporates through the BIM Collaborate Pro license model. It incorporates a little segment within your design platform, giving you direct access to your models and all of your information directly into your design platform through an internet connection rather than having to go through and download a bunch of software. Now, Autodesk Docs, this is simply your data management platform. I compare this quite a few times to things like OneDrive, Dropbox, things that people are used to within the industry. But what we're going to talk about today in our PDF workflows is I'm going to show you some really cool features within the Autodesk Docs module as well. Build is your construction management platform. So what's really cool about this is as you move throughout your design into your manufacturing and takeoff portions and then go into your actual construction capabilities within Build, the Autodesk Construction Cloud really has modules to be able to support each of these endeavors within your organization. So with Autodesk Docs, this is really enacting as a centralized database for all of your project information. And as you move from design to construction, Autodesk Docs is going to be able to support your workflows along the way. So Docs, I do just want to emphasize, while it is in an AEC collection and it is unlockable through each of these licensing models as well. If you have administrative staff or you just want to try Autodesk Docs for the first time, Docs can be purchased as a standalone license. That way you have access to the data management portion of this module. There were a lot of other acquisitions that Autodesk acquired companies like Assemble, Building Connected, PlanGrid, ProEst, Pipe, and TradeApp. All of these have been directly tied into the interface of the ACC and support workflows to continue to centralize that database. There's a lot of open API connections as well, a lot of really cool features, and extremely excited to be talking about Autodesk Docs here today. So as we begin taking a look at Autodesk Docs, at its core, Autodesk Docs is your project's control center, keeping everything and all of your data and documentation in one place. One of the big things that people overlook a lot of times with Autodesk Docs is that whenever you're starting to work with tech suites and you're working with a lot of different technology and information, each of those pieces of data commonly are distributed into little data silos where all of your data and information are not connected in your project. What's really cool about the ACC is it brings all of your data into one place with open API connectors to all of your design suite software. And then what's cool about this as well is unlike other modules that typically force you to pay for a certain amount of data, for example. So rather than a company selling you, hey, you have 5 terabytes of data on this server, or hey, you have to purchase an additional terabyte. The Autodesk Construction Cloud and what Autodesk did was they understand design software can be heavy, whether you're working with point cloud data, Revit models, AutoCAD files, there's a lot of information flowing throughout a project. So one of the things that Autodesk decided is rather than paying for a certain amount of storage on the platform, with an Autodesk Docs license, you have absolutely unlimited storage within the ACC, giving you the ability to centralize your project data and be able to support your projects throughout the entire process without ever having to worry about maxing out on storage space within that project itself. In addition to this, you have full backend security as well as secure folder structures within the ACC, giving you the ability to centralize things with permissions and basically security clearance profiles, giving you full capabilities to collaborate and invite different stakeholders into your project without having to worry about what folder structures everyone has access to. So you have full control both for stakeholders entering your project, but also security on the back end with full support from Amazon Web Services, and there's a whole security segment on there as well. And in addition, one of the cool things is since all your project data is centralized in one place, you actually can access your data from anywhere as well. So what's really robust and what's really proficient within the ACC is that you have access whether you're working on a Windows or Mac computer, or whether you're on a mobile device, whether it be an iPad, an iPhone, an Android phone, you have complete mobile access as well. So some of the cool things I'm going to show you here in a moment is there's a viewer inside of the ACC, and on your mobile device, you're able to open full Revit models. You're able to open full point cloud models and easily navigate and access that data, whether you're on your mobile device, as long as you have an internet or data connection, you can access your information from anywhere. And again, throughout these processes, having access to your data, whether you're on site or in the office, office, you're able to work together seamlessly, which boosts overall efficiency within your project. So this is one of my favorite portions of the ACC, and I promise we're going to get into the PDF and doc workflows here in just a second. But Autodesk Docs has an incorporated and integrated viewer that allows you to easily access and navigate all of your files on your project. And again, this is all in one place. So you don't have to worry about having the Excel app or having a PDF viewer or having, Revit or AutoCAD accessible at your fingertips without needing additional licenses like Revit, AutoCAD, Civil 3D, Microsoft Suite, a PDF viewer, any of these. You're actually going to have a viewer directly integrated into the ACC, whether you're on the web or on your mobile device. You have access and capabilities to integrate into PDFs and sheets, Revit and AutoCAD files, as well as all other design softwares within Autodesk, and then Microsoft Suite files and point clouds as well. So this allows you easy access to edit, collaborate with familiar Microsoft and Autodesk tools. And again, the ACC, this viewer allows you to open up and actually look inside the RVT file or the DWG file directly in the ACC without an additional license required. And just to clarify as well, this is a viewer, so this does not give you full access to all the design tools that you would typically use. But what's really cool about this is it does give you access to all the data within those design files. So as you're incorporating and editing these files, you're able to actually see them in real time within the viewer.
Yeah, that's a great point. So being able to access, I think it's like over 80 file types at this point. The list continues to grow. So you can view and, even place markups and stuff like that on, which we'll go into here in just a few minutes. But being able to actually access and view and utilize software utilize platforms without having additional software expands the workflow. Today, we're going to be focusing mostly on PDF workflows, as that's primarily the form for construction. But, the industry is changing, and CAD files and BIM files are becoming more prevalent.
So jumping into the actual markup capabilities within the ACC. And again, this PDF viewer is accessible from anywhere on your mobile device. All of these tools we're going to be talking about today are also accessible, whether you're in the office or in the field. So as you're collaborating, doing punch lists, editing forms, anything like that, you have complete control and access to all of your project data. Markup capabilities include intuitive markup tools, giving you the ability to simplify and add text, shapes, clouds, lines, polylines, poly shapes, freehand markups. So whatever you're currently used to working with whenever you're in the field, you actually have all of these directly at your fingertips, again, through the ACC Docs license model. You have precision markup and features in measurement tools, so you can easily measure distance, areas, angles, and arcs, again, directly in the field. So whether you're on a mobile device or on the web version. And then you can also easily calibrate your drawings. So if you know the scale, or there's actually a calibration tool that gives you the ability to easily and simply calibrate your drawings to scale. That way, all of your markups and all your measurement capabilities are all to scale and accurate while you're in the field. And again, easily accessible and accurate anywhere, whether you're in the office or in the field. And an additional piece that we're going to be talking about today is actually a new functionality that can improve your overall QA/QC processes and your collaboration processes. This is a feature in Autodesk Docs called Issues. And what issues are they are a tracking system and management system for project coordination. So how this actually works is there's little data nodes that you can put, and this is a markup tool. The issues nodes are essentially a markup tool. There's data nodes that you can place on a PDF or in an RVT or CAD file. And whenever you're in these files and you place those data nodes, you can then actually go through a list and assign users, assign tasks, and add information into those data nodes that can be then assigned to different users and collaborate while you're in either the office or the field. But you can collaborate back to your design team to make changes. You can coordinate issues with additional team members or stakeholders that are in your project, and you actually get push notifications. So you get an email directly to whoever you're collaborating with, and you can add different people into that node. So this is a really cool feature that I'm going to show you. It's going to make a little bit more sense when I jump into the ACC and actually demonstrate it. But the data nodes are really cool because they are able to collaborate with different users. You can assign people, and you actually get an email notification and a tracking system where you can track all coordination within your project. All right, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump over to the ACC platform. And by the way, as we're running through the presentation today, if anyone has any questions, there is a questions box in chat. Feel free to toss your questions in there. Any additional information you'd like to talk about. We're going to save time at the end here for a small Q&A as well. So jumping into the ACC. Within the ACC, in the upper left here, you have a little project picker. This project picker allows you to jump in and get into all your different design modules. So we talked about in the beginning there, there your ability to access Autodesk Docs as the foundational access point. You also have your design collaboration, model coordination, and build tools, as well as a really neat insight model that kind of acts as a homepage for your project, giving you the location, giving you tracking dashboards on that insight page as well. So whenever we get into the first folder structure, your main folder structure is going to be located here on the left under Files. And within Files, you're going to have a little project files segment, and you're going to have a folder structure hierarchy that you can interact with. These are very simple to add subfolders to, and simply add additional folder structures, and then you can add folder structures within that as well. You also have the ability within this folder structure to add and upload files directly to the ACC. So this can be done. Again, we're currently on the web app. That's what I have pulled up on our screen here, but you can directly do this from your phone as well. So if you took a bunch of pictures on site, photos of the job site, you can directly upload these to the files portion of the ACC as well. But I'm also going to show you a cool way you can actually tie those into your issues nodes. Now, jumping over to design documents, what I want to show you here is we have a couple of RVT files from Revit, but we also have a set of PDFs here as well. So what's really cool about this is that integrated viewer that we were talking about a moment ago. You can actually click on an RVT model, and what you'll see here is when you click on an RVT model, it actually took me inside the RVT projects in this view. But on the left here, I actually have a sheets and view list where I can come in. This is actually a pretty neat view that I pulled up to. You can actually interact and integrate directly with your Revit model and see this in real time. So anyone that's familiar with Revit, or those of you who are not, what's really cool about Revit is Revit has a tracking system for a bunch of properties and information associated with your elements. So this viewer is integrated. Again, you don't need a full license of Revit to actually interact with the Revit model, and you can see all of your information directly associated with all the elements of your project. And then within the sheets and views, you actually have the ability to navigate different views inside of Revit. And then you also have the ability to integrate different two-dimensional views within Revit, whether they're elevations, floor plans, or actual sheets within the project. So as we navigate here, just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. We'll circle back if we have time here at the end. But what I want to do is I want to jump over to the PDF that we have open and focus on some of the PDF workflows here. So as we jump in here to the PDF file, you're going to see that when you first open this up, you have on the right, you have all your standard markup capabilities and tools. And we're going to take a look at those. We're going to go through those as we're jumping through. On the left, though, what I want to emphasize is as you're navigating your different files and folders, on the left, there's a little sheets and views button here. And again, this is very similar to how the mobile application, whenever you click on a PDF, this is very similar to how that is going to be set up. So when you click on sheets and views in the upper left, this is going to give you a thumbnail preview of all your different sheets within your project. It's important that you use the sheets and views portion to navigate your project file and click between your different elements in your different sheets and views. The reason for that is because if you have a lot of different PDF sets or different files within your folder structure, there's actually a portion in the bottom right here that you can jump or go back and forth between project files. So this viewer is intuitive and it's a little misleading, but as you come through here in the bottom right, there is a little jump between files button. So if I actually click the back button here, which I'm going to hold off on doing just so I don't get off this PDF, but this would actually take me into the RVT viewer of that file that we were just in a moment ago. If I click the next button, again, this is the last file within my drawing set. So within this folder, if there was another file, my next button would take me to the next file accessible in my folder structure as well. So this viewer is intuitive both for the folder structure, but also for the specific file that you're in. So sheets and views will navigate you through the drawing and give you the ability to click and navigate through the file. And then on the right here, we have all our different markup tools and capabilities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize the sheets and view for a moment, and we're going to focus on some of these markup tools. So as I zoom in on my plan, I am able to use the scroll wheel to zoom in and zoom out whenever I'm looking at the web version. Whenever you're on a mobile device, this is intuitive to your fingertips. So you can simply zoom in just like you would typically on a phone, and you have the ability then to zoom out as well, just how you standard would with your fingertips pulling in and out. On the right here, you're going to have access to all of your different tools and markup features. Again, these cover 99% of the basic functionality of markup softwares that you typically see within the industry. So starting off at the top here, you do have just a basic draw interface. This draw interface gives you options to either draw with a pencil, or it gives you the ability to actually draw with a highlighter. Now, these are freehand and free form. So as you're scrolling throughout your drawing and as you're highlighting, you are going to be able to highlight different elements in your wheel. And then as you're changing or turning your mouse or your pen, these are going to interact in real time. You can see here it says highlighter mode is inactive. Hit escape or hold the space bar to pan or exit. So I'm going to go ahead and hit escape and exit here. Again, this is because I'm on on the web app, there's a cancel button as well whenever you're in your mobile device. Each of these markups, even though they're freehand, actually interact as their own individual markups. So you are able to select these and move these on your plan. So if you don't get it right the first time, but you want to keep the markup that you drew or you wrote on, you can, once you are out of the tool, you can select these as an individual markup and you can move these on the plan. Now, in addition, if I start using the pen tool here and I'm drawing with my pen tool, again, these are freehand, you have on the right-hand side here, you have the option to either fill or add a border to each of these tools. So these are universal and accessible within your interface here. So you can click in here and you can see a handful of colors. So if I want to change this over to blue, I can change that over to blue, and then I can interact now in a blue markup fashion. And then this also works for the highlighter. So the highlighter, you can see blue is currently set to active. As I began highlighting things before it was red, now it's blue. There is overlap with this, so kind of a cool feature. You can come in here and you can change this over to red. And then as you interact, you can see that the highlighted options do overlap and overlay. And then each of these are individual elements. So as you select different elements, when you go to select something, if there is an overlap, you get this little box here. You can see 2 blue highlighter options and a red one here as well. Now, these are the freehand tools. So people that are used to being on site and maybe have a pen option for an iPad or a mobile device, you can use the pen on this. This is intuitive to wherever your cursor on your screen is located. So as you're using a pen on site, this gives you the ability to just do quick freeform markups that you may already be used to. Now, in addition to this, though, you have all of your basic shapes. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but as we're going through, if we are trying to highlight something with simply a box feature, you do have the ability, again, through the markup and color options, you do have the ability to change these around. So you can have no fill, you can have a yellow fill, and then you can change the border as well, or have no border to each of your shapes. So rather than using the freehand tool, if you want to use something similar to a rectangle or your circle icon, you're going to have the ability to do that. You do also have an arrow capability. So as I go through here, I'm going to change this back over to red. You do have a standard arrow that you can point to and add functionality as well too. And then you have open text here. So if you're doing a small call out, you do have the ability and option. You can see here on the right, when you go to add text, this dialog box pops up. Now, this is a key piece of functionality, and this is something important because when you're on your mobile device, it's sometimes hard if you're looking at a PDF to basically add a piece of text and then go through and all of a sudden half your screen's gone because your keyboard opens up. So even on a mobile device, what Autodesk did was it gave you this little data node access point where you can come in here and you can write your text, and then you can actually click through here and you can change the size of your text. So if you want the font to be a little bit smaller, if you want the basically shape to be a little bit more opaque, you can change the opaquency. You can also change the color of text. So if you want your text to be black, but you want your background to either be a color, you do have the option here as well. What's cool about this is this color option. So this is currently the border color and you can choose no border here. But on the bottom here, there's a fill option. So this fill option is important because what you'll notice is some drawings get very busy and you want your markup to be able to stand out. You do have the option to fill it as red. You also have the option to change the transparency of that background. So you can either make it very transparent or not transparent at all. But what's also cool is you can actually change this over to white. And as long as you're working on a screen, you'll see here that that line work behind this, because of the layering structure within the software, actually gives you the ability to then place your markup without interference of anything in the background, giving you the option to essentially make that completely whited out. Once you're done here, there is just a little exit button here, so you can go ahead and exit, and that will leave your markup here on screen, and you can move that marker over as you're calling anything out here. And then as you're going through, you also have a quick revision cloud. So if you're on site, oops, sorry about that, because I have everything as white right now. But you do have a quick revision cloud here. So as you're on site walking through the field, if you have this up on your mobile device and there's something that you just want to quickly highlight or circle, you can add a quick marker here, and maybe something's going on with that column. You want to add a piece of text. Oops, sorry, text right there. I can add my text field. And again, this is all options based on what was previously set. So I can go ahead and remove the border here, and I can just add my text. Again, you can't double click in here in case you're on the web app. You have to click inside this text box. It makes it a lot easier for mobile users, and this is geared more towards mobile users. You can coordinate with structure. Maybe there's something on site you want to add in there, and then you can simply click off of on here on the right, and then you can just go ahead and move that wherever you need to. You can bold that text as well. So if you click edit here, it's going to pull that back up, and you have the ability to edit and add actually references as well within that text. So I'm going to come back to references just in a moment. I'm going to show you that under the issues node and then the camera node as well. So give me 1 second on that. And then as you're navigating through, you do have a call out box as well. So up here, I made a manual call out by using the arrow tool and basically a text box, but you do just have a quick call out tool as well. So as you're coming in here and as you're clicking on each of these devices, you do have the ability to essentially start drawing an arrow. Sorry, I have everything set to transparent right now. You can add your text in here. And then on your call out tool, you actually have all of these grips options. So as you move, you can see that the arrow stays in place based on the placement of that, but these are all intuitive. That way, each of these nodes basically gives you a different grip that you can draw, grab, and extend in the field. So it tries to make it extremely user-friendly for anyone on mobile device, making it easy to grab each of these nodes. And then if you ever need to transition anything or move basically a node marker, you do have the ability to do that as well. So within the basic callouts, you do have a polyline and a polygon object. So as you're coming in here, you can make non-traditional shapes with standard line tools. You can see here that I'm actually just using my cursor as I navigate this. What's really cool about this is this actually snaps to different elements, giving you the ability to snap at specific angles. And you have kind of like an ortho tracking mode on, giving you the ability to adjust and actually manipulate this and draw it relatively cleanly. And that's accessible again on the mobile app as well. So let's get into some of the additional tools and features that make it really easy to collaborate. So let's say you're not using some of the standard markups. Let's say you're just trying to coordinate specific sections of this PDF in the field. If you come in and you go up the stairwell and you're working in this segment, if you wanted to, there are a couple additional data nodes in here that make collaboration and coordination extremely easy to do. So one of those nodes is actually being able to click and basically just grab the photos node. And if you come up the stairs, you open the door and all of a sudden something's going on in the field right here, you can actually just click the photos node, click on the photo, and then you can actually add a reference. Now, what's cool about this is you can either upload a specific file that's accessible to you from your mobile device that you already took the photo of, or what you can actually do is you can take the photo on site directly there. So there is an option if you're on a mobile device with a camera to go ahead and press add camera button, and you can actually go ahead and upload that there. Or if you have a specific photo or file that you're trying to use, that's an on-site photo. I'm just going to grab this little cool data node here. I'm going to go ahead and click upload. Oop, I guess drag and drop doesn't work. There it is. I was going to say there was a menu I was missing there. And I can just grab a photo directly from my mobile device that I took in the field. I can go ahead and upload that, and that'll upload it directly to the site. Now, what's cool about this is you can publish this markup up, and once you publish it, it actually is collaboratively added to this drawing and able to be seen across your entire ACC project. So once you publish something up to the cloud, you're able to push this out to all other users to see. So as you're collaborating and coordinating information, someone can click in here, they can go, oh, what's going on here? And then they can click on the photo and pull the photo up in real time. Now, this is just a little AI image of, what BIM is. It's kind of a cool little photo there that I uploaded, but this would be your in real time photo that's easily accessible on your mobile device, able to be seen across all your project stakeholders and all of your collaborators within your project. Now, in addition to the photos data node, you can also use the issues data node. So let's say this was a little bit more critical. And whenever you click on the issues data node, again, think of this more as a coordination node, even though Autodesk named the entire functionality of this, the issues node, it doesn't necessarily need to be tied directly to an issue. This can be used also for things like design, commissioning, clash detection, or just general coordination on a project. So all of these data nodes are just ways to organize the data, and you can customize these to basically anything that you want. And as we go through, I'm just going to add a little coordination node here, and I'm going to go ahead and place that in the field here. So when you're in the field, you just hit issues, you choose what type of issue you're coordinating, and then you go ahead and place the data node on the drawing. And then as we're working through here, you can change the title of the issue. So you can see here, it adds a little marker issue 2. It says it was a coordination issue. But if you want to be more specific, like a drywall problem, and go ahead and click OK, this gives you the ability to actually be a little bit more specific with the title of the issue that you're coordinating. You can mark the status as open if this is something that you want to log and something that people need to take care of. And then you can add a little description. You can say, there was a nick in drywall. Let's not put a person in the drywall, but nick in the drywall. And you can go ahead and you can assign this. I'm going to go ahead and assign this over to Joe. And I can say, hey, Joe, I noticed this on site. Can you go through and fix this? Please fix before paint. Go ahead and click OK. I can add this to a specific person. So I assign this issue to Joe. Joe is responsible for now coordinating and working with that issue. I can also add watchers. Now, what's cool about watchers is if this is something you want to pay close attention to because it's a critical issue on your project, you actually have the ability to add yourself as a watcher. So what happens with watchers is they get notifications whenever a status or a functionality of this data node is changed. So if Joe resolves this issue, or he escalates it to his team, or he coordinates this with someone else on the project team, anyone that's a watcher is going to get updates as this issue progresses or anything changes on this issue. You can also tie this into specific locations or location details. So if you're on site, there's ways to set these up with cool little features and functionalities. But what's also nice is I can add a little due date here. I can say, hey, this needs to be taken care of before we paint. So I need this taken care of by next Friday because we're painting on Monday. So I can go ahead and add in July 5th there as the due date. And then you can specify a start date. Now that's just going to be today most of the time. But if there's something more specific, you can add a start date that's a little bit different, or, hey, you have the weekend, try to take care of this Monday. That way they know the priority of it. And then you can also add in here root causes. So you can say, this is a construction issue, or this is a document incomplete, or a conflict. There's a lot of different options in here. And again, I'm just going to put coordination in here for this one. And then what's cool about these is just like, rather than having to have a photo node and an issues node, you can actually add a reference file directly in here. So if I want to add a photo, a file, a schedule, an RFI, an asset, a submittal, or a form, you can actually add those directly into the interface. Now, RFIs, submittals, and assets, these are actually located from the build module. So I have that turned on here. That's why I have access to all of these. But you do have access to this in the build module. I do not believe you have access to all of these within the primary docs. So you will have access, though, to files, photos, and scheduled activities through this module.
Hey, Jordan, earlier you said for follow-up, essentially. So does that mean that the user, the watcher rather, or the person that's assigned to even, receives some sort of notification?
Yes. So all of these can be coordinated either directly in the ACC through the main interface. And I'll show you here in just a moment where we can track all of those. But you also get updates and email notifications as watchers directly to your email. So whatever your email that your Autodesk account is tied to, that's the email that you'll receive coordination updates to.
Cool. And then under root causes, you had a lot to choose from. Are any of those customizable?
Yes, everything is customizable from the cause of the issue to the root causes as well. All of these are open dialog boxes, not this right here, but you have the ability to set these up for your project. That way, across all of your projects within your organization, or even just specifically looking at and analyzing one specific project, what's nice about all these data nodes is you're actually collecting the data on your project. So as you work through all of these different issues, all these different coordination tactics, you can actually keep track of all the causes and all the issues or coordination nodes that are used on the project and analyze those at the end. Hey, why'd this take an extra couple days, or why'd this, get done really quick? There's data in there that we can analyze and manipulate and track from an organizational standpoint.
Not bad for PDF.
Not bad at all. So going back just to wrap up this issue here. So within this, as we assign a specific person that's responsible for this issue, as we assign watchers or key stakeholders within the project, you can also add references. So if this is something that needs to be coordinated, you can use an issues node, and then you can just add a photo directly on site as well. Again, you have the option to either upload a photo, or you can actually, if you're on a mobile device, you can just take it directly through the app and add that functionality there. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that photo in again. I'm going to go ahead and upload, and then I can see that photo directly tied into the issues node. So just like we could click on the photo over here and then click on that issue to pull that up, that specific photo. Instead, I can make a coordination node, assign all this different data within my PDF, and then I can actually come down here and see the reference photo. And when you receive an email of the coordination, it's going to include all of this data, but it's also going to include the photo as well that was taken on site. So this is very versatile, but it's also very customizable and able to be used across a whole bunch of different applications, whether you're just doing QA/QC drawing checklists for internal coordination markers, but you can also use this for on-site and in-office coordination as well. Now, a couple other things with this that's really cool is anytime something changes within the issue here, you can actually see that all my different options that I worked on here, as far as repositioning, title, description, etc., all of these are being tracked as far as what's being updated. So again, as this issue is then, you can see here between the status, whether it's a draft, an open, pending, in review, or closed. As this is then changed and the status is updated, whenever I click on that update, you're going to see a color difference on plan, but you're also going to see all of that in the activity log as far as what's being tracked when and where. That way, as people close out issues and everything's finished and closed, you're going to see all of that, and you're going to be able to track that along the project lifecycle on a job. So you can have all of your project stakeholders within this environment, and then as you're pushing out issues and assigning people and working, collaborating with people, all of those stakeholders are going to get updates, and you're going to be able to track, assign, and navigate your entire project and all all of this is going to get logged within your ACC project. So super cool, super universal, and a lot of capabilities here. And then if you
how do I share this data with somebody who doesn't have access to any of the ACC modules?
Do you want to answer that, Joe?
Yeah, I asked it, but I'll answer it too. Yeah. All right. Well, I was leading it into a part about the export. So we can export, obviously, PDFs that have been marked up and have the markups on there. But as far as the issues and stuff like that, you can send an activity log, or you can invite members. There's a way to turn on so they can access stuff without a license. But also there is a reports functionality, so you can run a report, filter it by, you know, who's assigned to what, and anytime there's a change made or how frequently you want to run the reports, whatever have you, you can run the report essentially so that they get a detailed list of all the things that they need to address on their end if they do not have a license. And the other great thing, I guess, about this is it's a bring your own license model. So like if you spun up a project, you can invite other people and they can bring their own license that they have without having to buy one specific for this project. They can use it across all projects.
Yeah, so a lot of different pieces of information and collaboration features there. So within the members section, again, you can add different users and stakeholders within your project. So what's cool about this is Autodesk incorporated a bring your own license module. So if you are a company that typically collaborates with a couple other consultants or, you know, stakeholders on your project, if they also have access to the ACC or they have access to an AEC collection, they're actually going to be able to be added in as a member into the project, and they're going to be able to collaborate with all these different features because they're bringing their organization's license into your project, and you don't have to go out and buy another license for someone that already has a license within the ACC. There are also ways that if you want to collaborate with everyone, you want to mandate this on your project, you can assign temporary licenses from your interface. You do have to purchase those, but you can assign licenses through your subscription models and what your company owns. You can temporarily assign those to users on a project. So if this is something you want to mandate, there's different licensing models and structures there that either users can bring their own license or you can actually manage that within the ACC as well. In addition, sorry, go ahead, Joe.
No, I think you're about to say what I was going to show about the sharing external access.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I wasn't going to go there, but I can. You do also have the ability to share. So whether you're collaborating with a file transfer site and you want to share this to a project, or if other people are working on ACC modules, your ACC project can interconnect with other ACC projects through something called Bridge. The Bridge functionality allows you to easily share from one project to another, and you can actually mandate and access those different project locations. So you can take a folder that's in your project module and you can automate that over to another organization. I'm just going to choose an organization here, and then you can choose a specific folder within that project. So if I want to coordinate with the architectural team here, I can go ahead and click on there and select it. And essentially what I can do is I can then take the folder that I selected in the ACC, automatically push that over. And so anytime there's an update in my project over here from one version to the next, it's going to automatically push over to the sister project that I have this bridged over to and collaborated with. Before we jump back into a lot of other features, I just want to be mindful of time. I went a little fast on a couple of sections. I just want to go back and review real quick. So whenever you're in a PDF and you're pushing all these different data nodes or you're making all these markups, what you'll notice is that as you're collaborating with different stakeholders on your project and you're clicking back and forth through all your PDFs, your markups are saving on your end. As you're collaborating and adding people into specific data nodes like issues, they are going to get, again, an email notification, and they are going to get a notification in ACC that an issue has been assigned. You can also go through, so I went through the markup tools, but I just want to show you measurement functionality as well. If you're going through and doing markup measurement capabilities, again, the first thing to do is you need to calibrate this. And I believe I already did, but you can see here that this is set up to an 8th scale. There's a little collaboration button that you can click in here, and you can go ahead and set measurement units. Sorry, the collaboration button's over here on the right. And then you can calibrate your drawings. So if you know the scale of the PDF, you can go ahead and set that, just like similar workflows in other PDF editors. And then once that's set, again, this is easily a drop down that you can set to a preset scale, or if you have a known point, you can set this between 2 points as well. Sorry, I have to move that node here. So I can calibrate. I can set, hey, this is feet in fractional inches. And then I can say this is 12 feet, 0 inches. And I can change my precision here, and I can set that scale as well. So calibration can either be done between 2 known points on a drawing if it's something like a scanned PDF, or you can simply set the scale over. And then once you set that scale and you calibrate that scale, I might need to refresh here. So I'll go ahead and stay on this. this. But once you have all this set up here, you can go ahead and in your measurement tools, you actually have the ability to take rectangular areas. You can take straight line measurements. So as you're going through, you can just go through and check all these measurements here. And you can see within the precision, you can get within 1/2 inch there of your different line work. And then as you come through here, you can also take rectangular area dimensions. So if you just need a quick dimension while you're out on site, how many square feet is this? You get it within the 100th of a decimal foot. So a lot of cool functionality features here. Again, whenever you start the measurement tools, you calibrate the document, and then there's a lot of accessibility here once everything's calibrated properly. So to exit the PDF, once you're done and you're going back to the office to coordinate with a bunch of team members, go ahead and exit out here, and all of your PDF changes are saved automatically. If you need other people to save these markups, again, this currently set up in the markup process. It's set up so you basically can go out on site, you can make a bunch of markups, you can come back in office and then manage those markups or send out those markups. What's cool about this, so issues and photo nodes are automatic for the most part. Issues are. The photo node though, I mentioned how you can publish this or unpublish this. So unpublished markups, only you, the person that made the markup on site, is going to see. Published markups, anyone in the project is going to see. So the reason I mention that is because if you're collaborating with a bunch of people internally and you want them to be able to see all your markups, you do need to publish those. You can see the color changes just slightly between an unpublished, which only you can see, versus a published, which anyone that opens this PDF can then see. There's also a little node here on the left that tracks all of your markups. So as you add markups in here, you can see who was created on what and what information's there, giving you the ability to basically select a markup, and it's actually going to take you and select whatever markup that is. So as you're working through, if there's different collaboration features that you're working with or trying to coordinate with, these are easy ways to basically publish and unpublish markups, but also collaborate with different stakeholders on your project. There's also an issues node that gives you an overview of all the issues on this plan. So that's another collaborative way you can filter out and coordinate in the issues on this project. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause just for a moment, and I'm going to exit out of here. Now, I'm going to pull up the architectural RVT file just for a moment, because what I want to really emphasize here is that power of that issues node, because that issues node for collaboration doesn't need to be done in just a PDF file. You can actually do that and coordinate design features directly inside a Revit model. And you can say, hey, maybe I want that flooring system to change. So I make a data node in this 3D model. I can actually see a thumbnail preview of that issue. I can track it as a design issue, and I can actually do all those same nodes and functionalities here that we just did. But as I go in here and I assign this to different people and assign this to watchers, what's really cool about this is these issue and data nodes actually go back into Revit. So there is a plugin within your design software of Revit and AutoCAD that you can actually track these in real time and change the status and manipulate while you're working on the project. So if you're doing a QA/QC of the actual Revit model or CAD file, you can actually go through, do all your markups, and the designer in those design softwares can actually go through and track all those and one by one take care of all those issue nodes. And when you click on it in Revit, if this is the view I was looking at whenever I was placing this issue node and adding all this information, inside of Revit, there's a little view as placer inside of Revit. And what that does is it takes them to the direct view and the direct positioning whenever you place that markup. That way, whatever you're seeing in the file, the designer is seeing the exact same placement. So awesome coordination tool, super powerful, super versatile. I want to go ahead and pause as we wrap up here and see if there's any questions over here in chat.
One second, Jordan. If you go click on a project or a file rather, no, sorry, a file, just one of them, click the box.
Okay.
And then you select it and then click the 3 dots on the right.
These ones or
sorry,
this
on
one?
the right. Those ones are fine. Yeah, those ones.
Okay.
And click share again.
Yep.
I just wanted to point out when you select a file, you don't have it turned on for this project, but anyone with a link, you can send a link to somebody, and it's in their settings. So you got it, advanced settings, and then just enable. And you can share this and create a public link so that you can share with non-ACC members so they can come in and actually view the files.
Yep. So you just grab a link here, or you can send a direct email directly from the ACC as well. So this will send out as an ACC email address with the user, whoever sent it, and you can actually just add recipient emails in here. So there's a lot of coordination tools and tactics. We'll probably have to say for another webinar, but there's a ton of interface functionality within this docs module that's super cool, super universal, and it's just the brink of what the ACC is bringing to the AEC industry. All right, we're going to open up the floor to any questions. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to go ahead and throw those in chat, and we'll take those now. And as we begin wrapping up as well, I do just want to go ahead and thank everyone everyone for attending today's webinar. If you have any questions, please email marketing@topconsolutions.com. They will go ahead and forward those to the stakeholders that need to be involved to answer your questions, or give us a call if you need support or anything at 855-289-1772. Thank you all. Again, have a great rest of your day, and we'll all talk to you soon.